It took me a little bit surprised that all these IPOs, despite all the challenges, are coming here. I mean, time is just right. I think they've been gone for a long time, and finally we're ready. They're returning home. They're coming here to see their customers here because many of the customers want to be their shareholders, and they want to raise capital to do more things. And if you look at also NetEast, even though it's just listed for a few days, the gravity of trading, center of gravity of trading seems to be migrating very healthily into Hong Kong, which is something that we're very proud.
And just a couple of days of trading already included in the Hang Seng Composite Index,
Correct.
Something that we noted.
And also a whole range of structured products that have been launched around it.
Now, Hong Kong was the world's biggest IPO market in 2019, and it looks to be the biggest beneficiary of this homecoming for many U.S.-listed Chinese companies. Can you give a ballpark on how many companies or how much money can be raised here on the back of that?
Well, it's hard. It's hard to really forecast this because this is not like it's not like our marketing. We're trying to generate the sales. We just get our market ready, and people will come when they're ready because it's largely determined by the issuers on their own strategy, on their business. But I am quite hopeful this is going to be another very big year for us. I like to play football. I always say this year we're definitely going to be in the finals.
Hong Kong has been bogged down by a trifecta of factors: the trade war, social unrest, and the coronavirus. You add to that, more recently, the national security law. Will this be impacting international companies wanting to establish and list here?
Well, international company listing has always been a challenging proposition for Hong Kong because there are no fundamental reasons for them to list here, international companies, because we are like another open Western market. If they list in New York, they can have capital here. They list somewhere else. But ultimately, in the future, if we are able to have their listing to be able to sell their shares directly to Stock Connect on the southbound, what I usually call primary connect, when that happens, we will see very, very sustained flows of foreign companies wanting to be listed here because they are able to directly sell into China, which is still a captive and capital base. But if they're just coming here today selling it to international investors, then unless they have some other reasons to be listed here, for example, if their business is in China or in Asia, like the beer company last year. But otherwise, if you don't have other nexus to be here, you probably want to wait until the southbound is available for IPOs.
There's been international response to the national security law. What impact would U.S. sanctions have on Hong Kong and the market?
I think the U.S. sanctions is going to come whatever happens because it's more of a broader sign of U.S. Tension or conflict. Big giants have their own issues to work out. We're little animals around, and sometimes we get hurt and inconvenienced, but that's just life. I don't really think the national security law necessarily is the cause of anything or the trigger of anything, but I'm sure it's one of the many factors that are making the relationship between the two giants complicated. And we just have to manage, and we seem to be managing quite well because this is something that is fully anticipated is going to happen at some point in Hong Kong. It was supposed to happen one way, didn't for many years. Now it happened the other way, and it's done. And obviously some of the details are still to be worked out. But clarity, certainty are the things that the market really looking for. It is the anxiety of not knowing what's going to happen next is going to be something that we worry the most. Now it's done, and we are highly confident that the national security law was introduced for specific, narrowly tailored focuses rather than some sort of a broader strategy of changing the fundamental characteristics of Hong Kong, and which is one country, two system. That system works great for China, works great for Hong Kong, works great for the world. And in this very polarized world today, Hong Kong will be becoming a lot more important. So it is in the strategic benefit of China to maintain one country, two systems. Obviously, the national security law gives them additional comfort that the national security issues in Hong Kong are properly addressed. That has been an issue for them. And hopefully with that certainty, uncertainty removed, with the clarity in their mind, the support of China into the Hong Kong financial market is going to come without hindrance anymore, and that in turn will attract international capital. So I think that, as much as people sometimes feel a little bit edgy about issues like this, I don't really see that having any real meaningful negative long-term impact